With COVID going strong in the state of Florida, where I'm currently located, I've been trying to keep my adventures pretty local, at least within the same state. Today, I'm hopping on my bike and I'm doing a training ride for an upcoming bikepacking trip. Into the trails I go! Even if the trails are flat here, it's still really pretty, so totally worth coming out here and riding the bike. You know, I used to be into riding my mountain bike on jumps and all kinds of technical terrain, and yeah, that was a blast and I had a good time, but I don't know, recently I've been more into biking just for the beauty of getting outside and taking advantage of the great outdoors. And also I've been getting more into riding long distance. I guess I care more about having a nice, long, beautiful mountain bike ride than going out and doing jumps and stuff like that. So I recently started riding this hardtail behind me and I'm used to riding a full suspension, so this thing is kicking my butt. But I was looking for a bike that was geared more towards bikepacking, but I could also use on the trails, and this is a good trail bike, and since it's a hardtail, it's going to be a lot better for bikepacking than the full suspension that I had. So I'll be riding this thing for a while. If anyone's interested, I'll be selling my full suspension bike. Hopefully soon I will be getting a new seat post for this thing. It's a brand new bike, but apparently I have really long legs because this seat post won't go up high enough. I'm 5'1" and I was kind of like on the cusp of between the extra small and the small size bike. I went up to the size small and the seat post is still too short for me, so I've ordered a longer seat post, so looking forward to getting that thing on so that I can have my full leg extension while I'm mountain biking on this thing. I really need to get a GoPro mount for this GoPro onto my bike because I'm sitting here filming one-handed. I got one hand on the handlebar and one hand on the camera. So yeah, I think that's gonna be my next purchase. So what bike trip am I planning this winter? What am I training for? Well, this has been on my mind for like 9 or 10 years, but I've been kind of too scared to do it. And this year, I'm just gonna punch fear in the face. Planning on doing a variation of the Hurrican 300. Pretty much it goes through the Withlacoochee State Forest and north up through the Ocala area and the Ocala National Forest, and then drops down to the Apopka area, and then at some point drops back down to the Withlacoochee State Forest in the Rich Loam area, and just kind of makes this big old circle. Not sure the exact mileage, but somewhere between 300 and 350 miles. I will be doing a variation of it since COVID is still going on pretty strong here in Florida. I don't want to have to get a shuttle to anywhere, so I'm just going to go right out from my front door. So I'll be doing a slightly different route. Also, there is one spot known on this route where you have to cross a river, which has alligators. So I will not be doing that section. I've found a route around it, so I'll be doing that instead. And there may be a few little variations here and there on that trip, but that's what I'm planning on. Do any of you guys have any bikepacking trips planned for this winter? Or perhaps there's been one on your mind that you've been kind of too scared to try out. You know, sometimes you just gotta put fear into perspective, maybe figure out what it is that scares you or you are afraid of on a particular adventure or trip that you want to do, and maybe work around it, figure something out that will make it a little less scary. Like, one of the big reasons why I have not pursued this bikepacking trip is because of that water crossing with the alligators that I have heard so much about. So this year I just kind of got online and looked on maps and Google Maps and figured out a route around that. So it's like, well, I could still do this trip, I just have to do a little workaround and I could still enjoy the rest of the trip. So yeah, just figure it out. You can do it.
You ever wonder if days like these last?
End of the trail and onto the pavement.
With the feeling pass, would you find out with me if it all starts to crumble? We'll search the pieces